Rian Hawley moved through the broken alien ship with slow steps, his flashlight cutting through the darkness like a thin blade of white light. The air smelled like burned metal and old smoke. Every few seconds the ship made a low cracking sound, as if it was tired of holding itself together. Rian had explored many wrecks before, but this one felt different. Too silent. Too dead. He came here only for scrap and fuel cells, nothing more. But a strange feeling kept pulling him deeper into the frozen corridors. As he walked, his helmet scanner caught a very faint sound. A heartbeat, weak, slow, almost fading. Ryan snapped. What was that? He whispered. The scanner blinked again. Life detected. Very low, very unstable. Ryan frowned. There should not be anyone alive on a ship this damaged. Still, he followed the signal, walking past collapsed ceilings and shattered glass. The deeper he went, the colder the air became. It felt like the ship itself was holding its breath. After a few minutes, he reached a heavy door bent out of shape. The heartbeat signal came from behind it. Ryan pushed with all his strength, metal screeching loudly. When the door finally opened, Rian's eyes widened. There in the center of the room was a small alien girl, maybe 15 or 16 in human years. She was chained to the wall with glowing cuffs, her arms pulled above her head. Her skin was pale silver, glowing faintly. Her hair, long and soft, looked like blue threads of light falling over her shoulders. Her clothes were torn, stained with dust and dried blood. She looked fragile, like she would break if someone touched her. Ryan slowly approached. "Hey, can you hear me?" he asked in a soft voice. The girl's eyes opened slightly. They were bright blue, almost shining. Fear flashed inside them. She tried to pull away, but the chains did not allow her to move. "Don't hurt me," she whispered. Her voice was thin, shaking, as if she had not spoken for a long time. Rian raised his hands to show he meant no harm. "It's okay," he said gently. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm human. My name is Ryan." She blinked slowly, unsure if she could trust him. "You are not one of them?" she asked. "One of who?" She looked down, afraid to answer. The chains glowed brighter for a second, reacting to her fear. "My people," she whispered. "They left me here." Ryan felt something heavy in his chest. He stepped closer and inspected the cuffs. They were alien tech-powered lock restraints used for dangerous prisoners. But this girl didn't look dangerous. She looked scared and weak. Why would they do that? Rian asked softly. She shook her head slowly. "Because of what I am. Because of something inside me." Her voice cracked as if she was remembering something painful. Rian tried pulling the chains, but they didn't move even a little. He took out a small cutting tool from his belt. "I'm going to get you out of this," he said. Her eyes widened in surprise. "Why? You do not know me." "Because no one deserves to be left like this," he replied. For a moment, she looked at him with confusion, as if kindness was something she had never seen before. Rian began working on the first cuff. Sparks flew as he tried to cut the glowing metal. The girl winced at the sound, but stayed still. While he worked, she spoke again. "They said I am unstable," she whispered. "They said I can bring danger. They were afraid of me. Afraid of a girl in chains?" Rian said, shaking his head. "Doesn't make sense." She looked away. "They think I cannot control my power." Ryan paused. "Power?" Before she could reply, the ship suddenly shook violently. A deep rumbling noise echoed through the walls. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered. The girl's eyes filled with fear. "They are here," she whispered. "They came back." Rian's heart raced. "Who came back?" "The hunters," she said, her voice barely audible. "They want me. They want what is inside me." Ryan cursed under his breath and cut faster. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside, heavy, slow, clicking against the metal floor. Not human footsteps. The girl's breathing quickened. Her glowing skin flickered. "You must leave," she said urgently. "If they find you here, they will kill you." Ryan ignored her warning and focused on the final part of the cuff. "I'm not leaving you. You do not understand," she whispered. "I am dangerous." "And I've survived dangerous before," he replied. The footsteps grew louder. Strange alien voices echoed outside. The shadows moved under the door. Then click, the cuff finally broke. The girl fell forward, but Ryan caught her in his arms before she hit the floor. Her body was light, almost weightless. "Can you walk?" he asked. She tried but collapsed again. "No, I am too weak." Ryan lifted her gently. "Then I'll carry you." Her eyes widened with disbelief. No one had ever carried her. No one had protected her. She stared at him as if she could not believe he existed. The door behind them began to open. The hunters were here. Ryan tightened his grip on the girl and whispered, "Don't worry. I've got you." And then he ran. Ryan ran through the broken halls of the alien ship, carrying the weak girl in his arms. Her head rested against his chest, her breathing sharp and uneven. The ship trembled again, as if something large had landed. On its outer hull, metal groaned. Lights flickered. Behind him, he heard the clicking footsteps growing louder. They were fast. Too fast. Ryan knew he couldn't outrun them forever. He reached a fallen beam blocking the corridor. Carefully, he lowered the girl, leaned her against the wall, and began pushing the beam aside. It was heavy, but he forced it just enough so they could slip through. The girl watched him with wide glowing eyes. "They will catch us," she whispered. "They always do." Ryan wiped sweat from his forehead. "Not today." As soon as they crawled through the small opening, a chilling sound echoed behind them, a metallic screech mixed with an animal growl. The girl flinched, grabbing Ryan's sleeve with trembling fingers. "They found our scent," she whispered. "They can smell fear." "Well," Ryan muttered, "then I'll try not to smell like fear today." She looked at him with confusion. "You joke, even now?" "It helps me think," he replied. He picked her up again and kept moving. The hallway opened into a large chamber, filled with broken machines and shattered glass tubes. Some tubes still held faint blue liquid. Others had claw marks inside them, as if something once trapped inside had tried to escape. The girl's gaze hardened when she saw the tubes. "They used these to test on me," she said softly. "And others like me." Ryan felt anger raise inside him. "You were their prisoner?" She nodded slowly. "I am not like them. My abilities frightened them, so they tried to control me." Before Ryan could respond, the chamber door behind them slid open with a hiss. 3 tall alien hunters stepped inside. Each one looked like a nightmare made from sharp edges and cold intelligence. Their armor was bone white with black symbols. Their faces were long insect-like, with mandible jaws that clicked softly as they sniffed the air. Their eyes glowed red when they spotted Ryan and the girl. The girl whispered shakily, "Do not fight them. You will die." Ryan gently set her behind a fallen machine and whispered, "Stay low, don't move." He stepped out with nothing but a shock baton and a welding torch. 2 tiny tools against monsters twice his size. The hunters spread out, surrounding him. One hissed, and a voice came through its translator device. "Human, leave the defective one. Go, and you may live." Ryan tightened his grip on his tools. "Not happening." Another hunter stepped forward and scanned him. "Weak species. Soft bones. Low threat." Ryan smirked. "You'll regret saying that." The first hunter lunged. Ryan rolled aside, swung the shock baton, and hit the alien across its leg joint. Electricity shot through its armor, and it screeched. The alien fell for a moment, giving Ryan time to back up, but the other 2 charged as well. Ryan blocked a strike with the welding torch, sending sparks everywhere. He ducked another hit, rolled on the floor, and scrambled behind a machine. The girl watched him fight with wide, terrified eyes. She whispered to herself, "Why does he fight for me? He does not even know me." One hunter punched through a machine, tearing it apart. Rayan dodged again but was getting tired. The girl clenched her fists. She could feel something inside her. Burning, moving, waking up. The energy she feared. The energy she tried to hide. Rayan took a hit to the shoulder and fell to one knee. Another blow sent him sliding across the floor. The hunters closed in. The girl couldn't stay silent anymore. She crawled out from her hiding spot, her body shaking, and shouted, "Stop! Please stop hurting him!" Her voice echoed through the chamber, vibrating the air. The hunters froze. Slowly, they turned toward her. One of them spoke. "There is the unstable one. Capture her." Rayan forced himself to stand, ignoring the pain. "Don't go near her." It was too late. The hunters advanced toward the girl. Her breathing became faster, sharper. The glowing lines under her skin flickered like lightning trying to escape. "Stay back," she whispered. "Please stay back." The hunters ignored her warning. Rayan saw her panic rising and yelled, "Close your eyes." She squeezed them shut. A hunter reached for her, and suddenly the air exploded with a deep humming sound. A shockwave burst from the girl's body, throwing the hunters backward into the walls. Their armor cracked. Their faces twisted in confusion and fear. The girl collapsed immediately. Gasping, eyes wide, Rayan rushed to her, lifted her before she fell, and whispered, Hey, you did good. Just breathe." But she shook her head, horrified. "I cannot. Control it. I will hurt you too." "You didn't hurt me," he said gently. "You were not the target." She whispered. The hunters slowly stood up again, damaged but alive. Their voices hissed with anger. The defective one activated. She must be taken. Rayan felt a surge of adrenaline. He picked her up again. No one is taking her. He turned toward the emergency exit hatch. Behind him, the hunters gave a final warning. "Human, protecting her will bring death to your entire species." Rayan didn't look back. He kicked open the hatch and stepped into the next corridor. "Then let them try," he said. And he ran deeper into the ship, carrying the trembling girl. While the hunters screamed and began the chase again, Rayan didn't stop running. The alien girl clung weakly to his chest, her glowing skin flickering like a dying star. Behind them, the hunters' sharp footsteps echoed across the metal halls, fast, angry, and getting closer with every second. The alien ship shook again, harder this time. Something heavy crashed somewhere in the distance. Pipes burst. Sparks rained from broken wires. The whole vessel felt like it would fall apart at any moment. Where are we going?" The girl whispered, her voice barely there. "To my escape pod," Rayan said between breaths. "We're getting off this ship." She trembled. "They will follow." "They always follow." Rayan tightened his grip around her. "Let them. I'm not leaving you here." Her eyes softened for a moment, but fear quickly returned. "You don't understand. I cannot hold myself stable for long. My power." "You're safe," he said firmly, even though he wasn't sure. "I promise." The corridor ahead opened into a hangar bay. Half the ceiling was torn open, exposing black space and distant stars. Frozen air drifted inside. The floor was covered with pieces of ruined ships, twisted metal, and floating dust. Rayan spotted his small escape pod on the far side. It was old, dented, and barely designed for two people, but it was their only chance, before they could reach it. A loud shriek echoed behind them. The hunters dropped from a broken vent above, landing with a metallic thud. Their mandibles clicked, their red eyes glowing with fury. The girl gasped and hid her face in Rayan's chest. One hunter hissed, "Give her, or die slowly." Rayan whispered into the girl's ear, "Hold on tight." Then he sprinted. The hunters charged. Rayan ran across the broken hangar floor, dodging debris. Laser shots crackled past his shoulder, hitting the ground and sending metal fragments flying. The girl squeezed her eyes shut, shaking in fear. One hunter jumped ahead, blocking their path. Its clawed hand reached toward Ryan's throat. Ryan didn't slow down at the last second. He slid on the floor, sparks flying beneath him. The hunter swung too high and missed. Ryan shot past it, still holding the girl tightly. Another hunter leaped from the left. Ryan grabbed a loose metal panel and threw it at the alien's face. The blow didn't hurt the hunter, but it distracted him long enough for Ryan to reach the pod door. He slammed his hand on the control panel. The door opened with a hydraulic hiss. "Inside," he said. He laid the girl in the seat and strapped her in. Her breathing was fast, now too fast. The glowing lines on her skin spread like cracking ice. I can't control it much longer," she whispered. "I'm sorry." "Don't apologize. Just breathe." But she shook her head desperately. "No, Ryan. If they get close again, I might explode and take you with me." Ryan didn't hesitate. "Then I'll make sure they don't get close." He jumped into the pilot's seat and slammed the launch button. The pod shook violently. The hangar behind them exploded in bright light as the hunters fired at the pod's engines. Ryan gritted his teeth and pulled the steering handles. "Come on, old machine. Don't quit on me now." The pod blasted out of the hangar and shot into space. Inside, alarms screamed. The pod was small and fragile. One hit from a hunter's weapon had damaged the stabilizers, making the pod spin slightly as it flew. The girl closed her eyes, her voice trembling. We are falling." "No," Ryan said, gripping the controls. "We're landing." "Landing where?" Ryan pointed ahead. Through the window, a giant dead moon came into view. Its surface was gray, cracked, and covered in thick dust. No cities, no life, no air. The perfect place to hide. The pod broke through the thin dust clouds and hit the ground hard. The impact threw both of them forward. The girl cried out in pain. Ryan reached for her immediately. "Are you okay?" She nodded weakly. "Just tired." The glowing blue cracks on her skin began spreading faster, like energy trying to escape from inside her body. Ryan's expression tightened. "What's happening to you?" She shook her head slowly. "My power. It reacts to fear, to danger, to pain. When it grows too strong." Her lips trembled. I lose control." "Is it hurting you?" "Yes." Her voice cracked like broken glass. "If I release too much, I will die, and everything around me will burn." Ryan looked around the empty moon. "Not here, not now, you're safe." But her eyes filled with tears. "I am never safe, not even with myself." He placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You're not alone anymore. I'll help you." She stared at him as if she had never heard those words before. But then, the pod's alarm suddenly blared. Ryan checked the screen. His heart dropped. 3 alien ships had followed them. They were entering the moon's atmosphere. The girl gasped. "They seek my energy. They will not stop." Ryan grabbed his gear. "Then we move, now." He helped her out of the pod. The moon's surface was silent, empty, and cold. Dust rose with every step they took, but when she stepped onto the ground, she fell to her knees. Her body glowed brighter. Ryan rushed to her side. "Hey, stay with me." She looked up, terrified. "Ryan, if they take me, everything will die. If I lose control, you will die. Then I'll protect you from both." Above them, the alien ships descended, casting long shadows over the dead moon. Ryan lifted the girl in his arms again. The hunters were coming, and this time, they weren't here to capture. They were here to end everything. The dead moon was silent, but the silence felt heavy, like the moon itself was holding its breath. Gray dust swirled around Ryan's boots as he carried the alien girl across the cold ground. Above them, The hunter's ships circled like vultures, waiting for the right moment to strike. The girl lay weak in his arms, her skin glowing with faint blue cracks. Every few seconds, a small spark of light pulsed under her skin, like a heartbeat. "Made of energy, Ryan," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You should run. You should leave me." "Not happening," he said. "You don't understand what I am." She shut her eyes tightly. "I am not safe." "Yes, you told me," Ryan said softly. "But I don't leave people behind." Her eyes opened again, full of fear, sadness, and something else, disbelief. "Humans are strange," she whispered. "We get that a lot." He gently lowered her behind a tall moon rock and scanned the sky. The hunters' ships glowed with pale light as they searched the surface. "We don't have long," Ryan said. "They'll land soon." She curled her fingers into the dust, her hands shaking. "Ryan, the energy inside me, it's alive. It reacts when I am afraid, when I am hurt, when I feel too much." Her breath hitched. "If it grows too strong, it explodes, it destroys everything." Ryan knelt in front of her, his voice calm. "Then we stay calm. We think smart. And we survive." She shook her head, frustrated. "How can you say that so easily? Do you not fear death?" "Of course I do," Ryan answered. "But fear doesn't control me." She looked down at her glowing arms. "It controls me." Ryan reached forward, placing a steady hand on her shoulder. "I'll help you. You don't have to face this alone anymore." Her lips parted, and for a moment, she forgot to breathe. No one had ever said those words to her. She had spent her whole life being avoided, feared, locked away, or hunted. "Why?" she whispered. "Why do you fight for me? You don't know me. You owe me nothing." Ryan smiled, not the big kind, just a warm, quiet one. "Because you deserve a chance. Someone has to give you one." She stared at him, her eyes filling with tears she didn't want to show. Before she could speak, the ground trembled. Ryan looked up. One of the hunter's ships was landing nearby, engines shaking. The surface. 3 tall figures stepped out, cloaked in dust. Their armor glowed with symbols. Their red eyes scanned the area. The girl panicked. Her body glowed suddenly brighter, cracks of blue light shooting up her throat and arms. Ryan grabbed her hands. "Hey, look at me." She did, tears trembling in her lashes. "You're okay," Ryan said slowly. "Breathe with me, in and out," she tried. But her breath kept breaking. "They are here for me," she whispered. "They will hurt you because of me. I can handle them. No." She grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "You cannot fight them. They were trained to hunt my kind. They are stronger than humans." Ryan looked at the approaching hunters. "Strength isn't everything." Her voice cracked. "You don't fear them, but you should fear me." Ryan lifted her chin gently. "If I feared you, I wouldn't be here." She froze. The blue cracks dimmed slightly. Her breathing slowed by just a little. But the hunters had already seen them. One stepped forward and announced loudly, "Unstable one. You will be returned to containment." The girl hid behind Ryan, trembling. Ryan stood tall. "You're not taking her." The hunters paused, studying him. "You protect her?" their leader asked. "You think your life has meaning here?" Ryan didn't answer. He readied his tools, just a welding torch and a small shock device. Pathetic weapons against towering hunters. The girl shook her head desperately. "Ryan, please don't do this. If they hurt me again, I will lose control." Ryan whispered, "I know, and that's why they won't touch you." But as the hunters advanced, the girl's panic returned full force. Her glowing cracks grew brighter and brighter. The dust around her lifted from the ground as if gravity was trembling. Ryan stepped closer to her. "Focus on my voice. Look at me, not at them." Her chest rose and fell rapidly. I can't hold it." "Yes, you can." "I'm scared." "I know, and I'm right. Here, The hunters lunged. Ryan moved instantly. He threw a dust charge at the ground, creating a thick cloud of gray smoke. The hunters staggered, confused for a moment. He pulled the girl into his arms and ran toward a deeper ridge in the moon's surface, but the girl's power kept flickering dangerously. Her body glowed brighter with every step he took. "Ryan," she whispered, "if I explode, you will die." He held her tighter, then explode later. Her eyes widened at his ridiculous answer. Then for the first time since meeting him, she let out a tiny laugh. It was weak, broken, but real. The hunters broke through the dust cloud again, roaring in frustration. "Unstable one, stop running." Ryan placed the girl gently behind a large rock structure. "Stay here, I'll draw them away." "No," she grabbed his sleeve. "They will kill you." Ryan smiled again, calm, fearless human. "They'll have to catch me first." And before she could stop him, he sprinted out into the open, shouting to the hunters, "Hey, over here, glow sticks." The hunters turned in fury and charged after him. The girl watched him run, her heart heavy and trembling. For the first time in her life, someone was risking everything. For her, she placed her glowing hands over her chest. "Ryan, please don't die," she whispered. Above her, the hunters' ships adjusted their position. The moon trembled. The danger grew. And inside her glowing body, her true power began to wake. The dead moon trembled under the landing weight of the hunters' ships. Sharp engines cut through the silence as dust rose in thick gray clouds. Ryan ran across the uneven ground, trying to pull the hunters away from the alien girl hiding behind the ridge. He had nothing except a small toolkit, 2 smoke grenades, and pure human stubbornness. The hunters, tall and armored, sprinted after him with long strides that tore into the moon dust. One of them shouted through its translator, "Human, surrender, you have no value." "Funny," Ryan muttered. "People tell me that a lot." He jumped behind a crater and threw a flash charge. A bright explosion of white light hit the hunters. They roared in frustration, their red eyes flickering. Ryan took the chance to set up his trap. 3 fuel cells he had taken from his escape pod, wired together with a spark igniter. It wasn't a weapon until you forced it to explode. He ducked behind a rock, breathing hard. The hunters regained their vision and marched forward with slow, confident steps. One pointed at Ryan. "You protect the unstable one." "Why?" Ryan shrugged. "Because no one else will." "That is not reason," the hunter hissed. "It's reason enough." They lunged. Ryan hit the detonator. The fuel cells exploded in a wave of white fire. The blast knocked the hunters back several meters. One fell to the ground with cracked armor. Another staggered, dazed. Ryan didn't stop. He ran again, trying to pull them farther away from the girl, who was still hidden behind the ridge alone, scared and glowing too brightly. She can't afford to panic, he thought. Not now. But even as he ran, he heard a familiar voice in his mind, soft, trembling. "Ryan, please come back." He turned slightly. The girl was standing now, gripping the rock for support, her body glowing brighter than ever. Blue cracks burned across her skin like lightning veins. Her eyes shone like small suns. She was losing control. Ryan shouted across the moon, "Stay back! Don't come closer!" But she shook her head, tears falling down her glowing cheeks. "I can't let them hurt you." The hunters heard her voice. They turned toward her instantly. "No," Ryan whispered, fear freezing his blood. The hunters sprinted toward the ridge. Ryan ran after them. "Stop! Come after me." The hunters ignored him. They wanted the girl, not the human. The girl trembled as the hunters approached. The energy inside her pulsed violently. Small rocks rose from the moon's surface, floating around her. Her breath became thin. Her fingers curled. Her whole body shimmered with uncontrollable power. Ryan screamed, "Look at me." "Not them." She turned her glowing eyes toward him, shaking. "I don't want to hurt you," she whispered. "You won't," Ryan shouted. "Stay with me. Focus on my voice." One hunter leaped at her. She raised her hand instinctively, and without meaning to, she released a burst of blue energy. The shockwave hit the hunter like a falling star. Its armor shattered. Its body was thrown across the moon, crashing into the distant dust plains. Ryan shielded his eyes from the brightness. The girl collapsed to her knees, her glow flickering violently. I didn't mean to do it." "You had no choice." Ryan ran toward her, but the remaining hunter blocked his path. It slammed Ryan to the ground with one powerful strike. Dust exploded around them. Ryan groaned, ribs screaming in pain. Above him, the hunter raised a blade-like arm, ready to finish him. The girl cried out, "No!" The hunter froze, not because of her scream, but because the ground beneath it trembled. Blue energy cracked through the dust, forming a circle of light around her. Her power was waking fully. Ryan saw it happening and fear flooded his chest. Not fear of her, but fear of what it would do to her. Her hands glowed like burning stars. "Ryan, I can't hold it. I can't. You can," he yelled. "Just breathe. I'm scared, I know." She closed her eyes, tears turning into glowing droplets. The last hunter charged at Ryan, roaring, rolled aside, barely avoiding the strike. He grabbed a broken metal shard and aimed for the hunter's throat joint. He plunged the shard into the gap. The hunter shrieked, sparks flying from its armor. Ryan pushed harder until the alien collapsed, twitching on the ground. Ryan, covered in dust and pain, forced himself to stand again. He looked at the girl. She was glowing so brightly now that the shadows around her disappeared. The moon dust floated around her like a halo. She whispered, "Ryan, I think I'm dying." Ryan walked to her slowly, painfully, and knelt in front of her. "No," he said firmly. "You're not dying. You're fighting. And I'm right." "Here," she sobbed quietly. "I don't want to hurt you." "You won't. I'm losing control. Then I'll help you hold it." She stared at him with glowing, tear-filled eyes. He gently took her hands. A soft blue light passed into his skin, warm, trembling, alive. Her breathing slowed. "Just a little. You're not afraid?" she asked. Ryan smiled softly. "I'm afraid of many things. You aren't one of them." Her glow dimmed slightly, but the sky above them brightened suddenly. Ryan looked up. A massive alien warship was descending 10 times larger than the others. Its shadow swallowed the moon's surface. The girl whispered, "They sent the warden." Ryan pulled her close. Another battle was coming, a worse one, and he had nothing left to fight with except the girl who could destroy everything, including herself. The giant warship hung above the dead moon like a floating mountain. Its shadow swallowed the ground, turning everything darker and colder. Strange symbols glowed across its underside, forming a circle of red light that pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. The alien girl stared at the ship with pure terror. Her body weakened. Her shoulders dropped. Her voice came out as a whisper. "The warden. They sent the warden for me." Ryan supported her gently. "Who is that?" She swallowed hard. "He controls the hunters. He shapes their minds. He decides who lives and who is destroyed. And he wants you?" "No," she said softly, trembling. "He wants my power. He wants to use me as a weapon." Ryan clenched his jaw. "Not happening." But she shook her head. "You don't understand. The warden cannot be stopped. My people obey him. The hunters worship him. He will take me, even if he must break this moon apart." Ryan looked up at the massive ship again. It was lowering slowly, engines glowing like angry stars. He felt fear in his chest, real fear, but he pushed it down. "We'll find a way," he said. "Ryan," her voice cracked. I'm losing control again." Blue cracks stretched. across her skin like a spreading spiderweb of light. Dust floated around her feet. Her hair glowed like fire. Ryan stepped in front of her, holding her face gently between his palms. "Look at me. Only me." Her eyes trembled, glowing bright blue. "I don't want to hurt you." "You won't," he said. "We're here. Together." But deep down, she knew her body could not handle the power building inside her. She had held it back for so long. She had been trained to fear it, to hide it, to suffocate it. But now, the warden's presence made everything inside. Her scream, the warship released a piercing sound, a signal. The ground vibrated. Dust cracked. The air felt tight. A large humanoid figure descended from the warship, floating through a beam of red energy. He was twice the height of a normal hunter, his armor thicker and carved with ancient runes. 4 glowing eyes stared coldly at the girl. His voice boomed across the moon. "Unstable one, your resistance ends now." The girl gasped and fell to her knees, grabbing her head. The glowing cracks on her skin pulsed violently. "Ryan!" She cried. "He's inside my mind. He's trying to take control." Ryan pulled her close, shielding her with his body. "He won't." The warden stepped forward, energy swirling around him. "Human," he said coldly. "You interfere in matters far above your kind. You will break." Ryan didn't move. "If breaking means protecting her, then break me." The warden raised one hand. A shockwave blasted out. Ryan was thrown back several meters, crashing into the dust. He choked, groaned, and forced himself to stand again. The girl screamed as the warden reached out with one glowing hand, pulling invisible strands of energy from her body. She shook violently. "He's taking it. He's taking my power." Ryan sprinted toward her, but another shockwave slammed him down. The girl's eyes rolled back. Her body lifted slightly off the ground. The blue cracks on her skin burst open with bright light. "No!" she screamed. "Stop, stop!" The warden smiled. "Release it. Give it to me." Ryan grabbed a broken metal rod and used it to push himself up. He dragged his bruised body across the dust toward her. "Fight it!" He yelled. "Don't give him anything." But she couldn't hear him anymore. All she heard was the warden's voice inside her mind. All she felt was the tearing pain in her chest. Ryan collapsed beside her and held her tightly. "I'm here. I'm right here." Something inside her snapped. A sound like a heartbeat, a massive echoing boom, shook the moon. The dust lifted from the entire surface. Ryan's hair stood up as electricity crackled in the air. Her eyes shot open. Bright blue, burning, uncontrolled. Her scream ripped through space. A sphere of pure energy exploded from her body. Ryan hugged her tighter, using his own body to shield her as the shockwave expanded in all directions. His skin burned from the light. His suit cracked. But he didn't let go. The warden was thrown backward, his armor shaking as the blast hit him. Hunters on the warship screamed as the energy tore into their systems. The moon's surface cracked under the force. The girl collapsed, but the power didn't stop. It kept pouring out of her, bright and fierce like a star being born. "Ryan, please, make it stop," she cried weakly. "I'm here," he whispered. "Hold on to me, just hold on." He grabbed her hands. Her energy poured through him like fire. It hurt more than anything he had ever felt, but he tightened his grip. "Listen to my voice," he said through clenched teeth. "You're not alone." "I can't stop," she sobbed. Doubled. "Yes, you can. With me, with us." The energy pulse slowed, weakened, dimmed just a little. The warden stood again, armor damaged but still active. He stared at the girl with new interest. "It has awakened," he said. "The perfect weapon." Ryan stepped in front of her, even though he could barely stand. "She's not a weapon," he said. "She's a person." The warden lifted his arm to strike. Ryan did not move. He was ready to take the blow, even if it meant dying. But before the warden's attack landed, something impossible happened. The girl rose to her feet again. Her glow returned, calmer now, focused. Not wild, not uncontrolled. She placed one trembling hand on Ryan's shoulder. "I'm not afraid anymore," she whispered. Her power awakened fully, not as chaos, but as choice. The girl stood beside Ryan, her silver blue glow soft but steady, like a rising dawn. For the first time since escaping her chains, her shaking had stopped. Her breathing was calm. The energy inside her no longer felt like a storm. It felt like a heartbeat, her own heartbeat, finally under her control. The warden watched her in silence, his four glowing eyes narrowing. "It is impossible," he said. "Your kind cannot control that power without guidance." She lifted her chin. "You mean without chains?" The warden's voice deepened. "You are unstable. Dangerous. You belong to us." "No," she said softly. "I don't belong to one." Ryan stood beside her, bruised and exhausted, but he managed a tired smile. "Told you. You're stronger than you think." The girl looked at him, a long quiet moment filled with gratitude and something deeper. "I'm stronger because you believed in me," she whispered. The warden stepped forward, dust exploding under his heavy boots. "The human has weakened you. Step aside, human, and I will spare your world." Ryan spat blood in the dust. "Try it." The warden raised his arm, energy forming around his palm like a red spear. The girl moved faster. She stepped in front of Ryan, spreading her arms wide. Her blue energy circled them like a protective shield. The red spear struck her shield and shattered into sparks. The warden's expression twisted. "Unacceptable. You were designed to obey." "I was designed to survive," she said coldly. "And I choose him," Ryan blinked. You choose me?" She smiled shyly, glowing. "Terrified, brave all at once. You saved me. No one ever tried before. No one ever cared if I lived or died." Before Ryan could reply, the warden roared, a sound that shook the moon. "You defy your purpose." The ground cracked beneath him as he charged with terrifying speed. Ryan grabbed the girl's hand. "Let's end this together." She nodded. Her glow intensified, but not wild like before. Gentle, focused, controlled. Blue light flowed from her body into Ryan's hands, spreading through him like warm fire. It didn't burn this time. It felt like strength. For the first time, Ryan didn't fear her power. He welcomed it. The warden leaped into the air to strike, and the girl thrust her hand forward. A beam of pure blue light exploded from her palm. It hit the warden square in the chest. His armor cracked. His body flew backward, hitting the moon dust with a thunderous crash. Ryan stared in awe. "That was insane," she smiled weakly. "I'm still learning." The warden struggled to rise, sparks flying from his armor. His voice was no longer calm. "This is not over. You are a threat to the galaxy. The council will come for you. And I won't be alone when they do," she said, stepping closer. To Ryan. The warden glared at them one last time, then activated a red teleport field. His voice echoed across the moon. "Run while you can. Your time is ending." Then he vanished. The battlefield fell silent. Ryan exhaled shakily. "Well, that was something." The girl wobbled, dizzy. Ryan caught her before she fell. "You okay?" he asked gently. She nodded slowly. I used too much energy. I need to rest." "Then we rest." Ryan lifted her in his arms, carrying her away from the cracked ground. She leaned her head against his shoulder, exhausted but peaceful. "You're warm," she whispered. "Humans are warm." "You should see us after coffee," Ryan joked. She laughed softly. A small, fragile laugh, but real. They reached a quiet spot near the wrecked escape pod. Ryan set her down on a smooth rock. The sky above them was dark again, the warship gone. Only stars remained now. For the first time, she didn't look at them with fear, but with hope. "Ryan," she said softly, "do humans always protect strangers like this?" "Not always," he admitted, "but sometimes the right stranger comes along." She looked down, her cheeks glowing faintly. "Why did you save me, really?" Ryan sat beside her. "Because you were alone, because you were hurt, because you deserved a chance." She closed her eyes, letting his words sink into her heart. "No one ever thought I deserved anything." "Well," Ryan said, placing a hand on hers, "they were wrong." Her fingers curled around his slowly. A gentle silence wrapped around them. But then, Ryan's scanner beeped sharply. He frowned and checked the small device. His heart froze. Multiple massive life forms approaching from orbit. Energy signatures. Unknown. Extremely powerful. The girl felt his worry instantly. "What is it?" Ryan swallowed. "More ships. Bigger than the Wardens." Her glow dimmed in fear. "They're coming for me." Ryan squeezed her hand. "Then they'll have to go through me first." She stared at him, eyes shining with emotion. "You can't fight a whole army." "Maybe not," he said, standing up, "but we're not done yet. And we're not running." Above them, the stars vanished one by one as gigantic alien warships covered the sky. An entire fleet. The girl whispered, "Ryan, this is a war." Ryan looked up, jaw hard, heart steady. "Then we'll face it together." The moon trembled. Beneath their feet, the sky burned with approaching ships, and the story of the human and the unstable alien girl was only just beginning.